Okay, fine. Let us wait for one more minute. Okay then. So, am I audible over the web? If anyone can respond over the chat or question section, it would be great. Am I audible over the web? Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Okay. Fine. Over here, obviously, I will be right to the last row. Yeah. Okay. So, fine. Before getting started into what is DevOps and why do we do all of this, why are you here? What is your reason for choosing DevOps? Any answers? మీరు DevOps చూస్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఏదో రీజన్ ఉంటుంది. So what is your reason behind choosing DevOps? Okay. I'm asking your personal reason, not your organization's reasons. Personal reason. Why DevOps? Yes, there are many other technologies to upskill. Why DevOps? Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Sounds like a politically right reason, but I didn't find the answer which I'm looking out for. Okay. Alternative career after 10 years of experience in DevOps is having less coding. Man. Okay. I'll elaborate about it. Any other reasons? Right? No one has a different reason around it. I got two answers. One was something related to dev and operations. One was with respect to the automation. The other one was 10 years of experience. And I have one more fancy reason saying that DevOps is having less coding. Okay. No other reasons? Future is cloud. But I'm speaking about DevOps right now. And DevOps need not be on cloud. DevOps can be also on a cloud, but DevOps doesn't mean that it has to be on the cloud. Yeah. As per the present market, yeah. Career growth, decent option. Okay. So let me tell you this. I've been, let us assume that I give you an offer. Okay. Pay is 100 rupees per day, but you will be working on latest technologies. Will you work? Why? You are telling future, you are telling automation, and I'm fitting all of those reasons. మీరు చెప్పిన ఆటోమేషన్ ఉంది, మీరు చెప్పిన ఆపరేషన్స్ ఉంది, మీరు చెప్పిన కోడింగ్ లేదు, బట్ ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ యూ 100 rupees per day, which is much less than daily labor. Okay, will you go? So what is your basic reason for getting into DevOps? First thing is our personal stuff, then comes the next stuff. So whether you speak about it or don't speak about it, there is nothing wrong in why we are here. We are here for packages, right? And then comes the strong career. DevOps fortunately has both. So it gives you a decent package as well as a future guarantee of at least not less than 5 to 6 years. There is no other technology which can guarantee that at this moment. That's why you are here. So that for me is a better reason for rather than the other reasons which you were trying to tell. Yeah, fine. So let me tell you what is the advantage of DevOps and what is that DevOps wants to bring. Okay, so I'm speaking about people in India, but if it is in US, I think the example should be slightly different. But most of you, since they are from Indian origin, you can make out what are the examples which I'm trying to tell. Okay, we have many sites for booking movie tickets, many apps. What is that we use? Book My Show. Yeah, and pardon me, just tickets is secondary position. It's like Congress in India right now. Okay, fine. So how about bus tickets? We have many sites. What is the site which you would use? Redbus. But throughout India, if you take the majority, what is the best bus booking site? Redbus. Okay, and what is the reason for that? Why is Redbus popular and why is Book My Show popular, not the other sites like Just Tickets? Just Tickets is also equally good. It also gives you the same interface. And then we have Easy Movies, we have Paytm movie tickets, we have many different stuffs. Okay, why not that and why Book My Show? Okay, okay, more discounts, user friendly. Okay, fine. So let me just try to add one more example to put what my intention is. What is the world's famous cab booking site? Who is financially strong in India, Uber or Ola? More revenues ఎవరికి వస్తున్నాయి, Uber or Ola? Ola. Why? No one has. No one has. Okay. Then why Ola over Uber, whereas the whole world tells something else? Pardon me? No. Sometimes Uber is much less than Ola. In many cases, right? So for all the examples which I have quoted, there is one strong reason behind it. Okay. Book My Show, Just Tickets. Which was released first to market? Redbus, Abibus. Which was released first to market? Ola, Uber. Which was released first to the market? Now, do you have a common reason for all of these examples? And we are here to achieve that. The whole job of yours is to take your dev code, whatever code that your developers have written for your application, as much faster to the market as possible. And for that, there are many things that has to be done. And that is what we will be doing. And if you do it manually, it will take time. That's the whole point why we automate it. Okay. So our job is to take the developer's code to the market as much fast as possible with decent quality. With decent quality. And when I say decent quality, will you write test cases? No. We will try to execute the test cases which your automation team has basically built. So we will try to be part of every phase of software development lifecycle. Okay. And DevOps will continue till your project dies. Development will stop at some point when your project is released to the market, new features coming on, but DevOps has to be there. Okay, at least monitoring what is happening on your application. So the scope is, when we start DevOps work is parallel to the development, and when we stop DevOps work is the moment when you decide to stop your product. This is what DevOps scope is all about. And we do DevOps for two major reasons. One is taking product faster to the market, and the next one I would call it as business value. Okay, business values, we try to do all of this by taking or utilizing the tools which are less burden to your organization in terms of financial stuff. So for example, I can say that, okay, if you use all of these tools, which cost you $1 million, I can take your product to the market very fast. Okay, but that is not what we are trying to learn. We are also trying to look at business value. Your team or organization should not be burdened very much with that sort of amount. Probably we might cut down some of the costs. We might be using open source tools. We might be using standard tools. That's the whole idea. So two key points why we are doing DevOps is we want to increase, okay, releases by reducing time to market. So reducing time to market is one key point why industries are looking towards DevOps. That's why it is applicable to any industry. If you learn cloud, there are some doubts about cloud in some industries. For example, banks don't trust cloud because someone else is hosting their data. But DevOps doesn't speak about any technology. It speaks about taking your product faster to the market, which is less time to market. And the second point is with business value. You don't basically increase the cost for your organization. So this is what a DevOps at its overview is. Okay, so if you learn all the tools and if your time to market is not reduced, let us assume that now it takes 2 months, and even after learning all of these tools, using these tools, it is still 2 months. That means that you cannot call it as DevOps. You might be using tools, that's it, but you cannot call it as DevOps. DevOps should guarantee you that you are reducing time to market. That's the whole idea. Okay, so for the products which start, it is a journey. It will not happen in 1 day or 2 days, because it's just not us. There are some of the process changes which are also required. Extensive automation is required. Okay, extensive unit testing is required. Developer should write more tests. Tester should write more automation scripts, right? Okay, so I'll start my presentation with before that, one small example. We all use Facebook, right? Amazon shopping site. Have you ever seen bugs on that? Like what we see in the applications which we test or develop in our offices. Have you ever seen something like that? Very rarely. Yeah, there will be bugs because it is a software. It has to have some sort of failure scenarios. But the normal use cases are never broken. Okay, so in Facebook and Amazon, we all know that there will be developers. They will be writing some code. Do you all agree to that? Yes, everyone agrees, right? Some developer writes some code, and that becomes a feature to us. Now, once the developer writes a code, okay, it has to reach to us, the customers. In the case of Facebook and Amazon, you and me are customers. Okay, so now how much time do you think it will take once the developer writes the code to bring it to us? What is happening in your company right now? Days, months? Yes. Some companies, once the developer finishes the code to reach the customer, it might take months. In some companies, it might be days. Days are still good. Amazon does it in 1.5 hours, and Facebook does it in 1 hour. But are you seeing any issues? That's the whole point. That's what DevOps can take you to. Okay, but we will not be going to that extreme. That is advanced DevOps, where you need to learn about deployments and all of that. Okay, that is too much of that. Is like a PhD. Okay, we are graduating just in DevOps. So that is the next step. So the whole point why you learn DevOps is to reduce time to market and to increase business value. When I say increase business value, you are reducing cost to your organization, right? So even if you use all of the tools which are in the syllabus, not in the syllabus, and if you are unable to achieve these two things, you cannot call yourself as a DevOps engineer. Please be very strict on that. Okay, fine. Now, before I start this course, what is that is required to become a DevOps engineer? First thing is you need to understand the complete delivery pipeline. Okay, there is no single tool which solves all of the purposes. Okay, because we have to speak about different phases. Developer writes the code. Where does he write? From where I have to pull that code? And after pulling the code, what is it I have to do? And after pulling the code, what you have to do changes from technology to technology. The steps which you do in Java are some completely different in the steps what you do in Python. So you have to learn that, and then you will get some package. How do you give it to your testers? How do you give it to your system testers? How do you build the user acceptance testing? There are multiple stuffs which you need to learn. So there is something which everyone has to learn, and there are some areas which you already might know. because I'm speaking about the delivery pipe. If you are a testing engineer, you know where the testers would be where the testing would be called. Okay, what is continuous integration? You might be already knowing because your organization might be following it. So there are certain areas which are very much known to you, and there are many areas which you have to learn, irrespective of what you are doing right now. Even if you are a developer, you are an admin. Okay, depending on whatever you are doing, there is a learning curve for everyone. Okay, and everyone has to basically look out, saying that we are DevOps developers. Remember that we are DevOps developers. And what is that our application is all about? Our main aim is to automate this pipeline. ఓకే, డెవలపర్ కోడ్ రాసిన తర్వాత కస్టమర్కి ఇవ్వటానికల్లా ఏమేమైతే చేయాలో అన్నిటికీ మనం ఒక స్క్రిప్ట్ లాంటిదో కోడ్ లాంటిదో రాస్తాం. We would be writing that, and for that we need some skills. Okay, you might not have it today, but we are here to learn. So you should be good at Linux. So for that you have to learn shell scripting, because majority of the tools are very much towards or built for the purpose of Linux systems, right? But now they are slowly extending their support to Windows, and in that case you need to learn PowerShell. So shell scripting is, or Linux usage is mandatory. Even if you are not working in Linux today, you are supposed to, after post this 70 days course, you should be good at Linux. Okay, so that is an expectation. Another thing is, this course I have one challenge. This course cannot be achieved just by coming to classes daily. This course is approximately 70 days, and slightly it might increase to another 5 days. If you come to classes regularly, it might not help. If you do follow the classes and do the exercises which I am trying to tell, then it will help. వచ్చి వినేసి వెళ్ళిపోతే మాత్రం ఉపయోగపడదు. And remember, this is a serial, not a movie. Okay, what is a serial? You just ask your mom and or wife, whoever was watching the serial, they would definitely know what has happened yesterday. Okay, they will never break the series. Even if they break, they will go to Hotstar, they will finish that whatever has happened for the last 2 days, and then they will watch today's episode. You have to maintain that courtesy, right? So don't try to skip the practice. Okay, if you skip the classes, at least find out what has happened and try to come to the classes with that basic idea, because this journey is continuous, and every time I might be speaking about some area in this delivery pipeline, fine. Okay, so let me get started with my presentation. Yes, that is all. What do you say? See, one thing which you need to understand is, whenever you are going to interview, when they give JDs, right, job descriptions for the stuff, if the company needs 30%, they will give you 100% of stuff. So you just look into some of the job positions, they would tell that I want a DevOps engineer who is good in C, C++, Java, .NET, and Python. I am betting you know you cannot find not more than 100 people over the complete earth for that. వాళ్ళు ఎందుకు ఇస్తారంటే there are primary skills and there are secondary skills, and in majority of the cases primary skills doesn't contain Python. It is a secondary skill, right? So Python, and by the way, here we offer Python over here, but remember, Python is not required. Python is, once you are very good at shell scripting, and if you want to take that scripting to the next level, then comes the Python. So for us, Python is not required. If you know, wonderful. If you don't know, it is not causing you any damage. That is the next level. Okay, that is master's program. We are graduating, that becomes your MTech, and then going to continuous delivery is your PhD. That's the whole idea. Yeah, fine. So I'll tell you what is happening with respect to average salaries which we have in our experience. It has been almost 2 years now. Okay, so the average salary in the case of Hyderabad, generally, if you take an average of Hyderabad salary, it is 1.25 lakhs into years of experience. 1 to 1.25 lakhs. So the average engineer in Hyderabad who is with 10 years of experience might be getting somewhere close to 10.25 lakhs to 11 lakhs, or 10.25 lakhs to 12.5 lakhs, or something like that, or 10 to 12.5. But If you go to Bangalore, it is 1.25 to 1.5. So 10 years experience engineer might be drawing somewhere closer to 12.5 to 15 lakhs. This is an average. There might be many people who are more than this, and there might be many people who are less than this. When you say average, it is just combination of all of this. Right? In quality thought, our average is 2 lakhs in 2 years of experience in Hyderabad location as well as in Bangalore location. So based out of location, we have not done that stuff, but we have calculated average of all the offer letters which we have got. So it is up, it is slightly more than 2. So 2.05 or something like that. Okay. And that number is slightly increasing. Okay. 1 year back, it was 1.98. So we have approximated to 2. So the number is going. Okay. And one thing to remember is your salary in India in 80% of the cases is always relative to what your current salary is. ఆల్వేస్ రిలేటివ్. అంటే నా జీతం ఇప్పుడు 4 లక్షలు అండి, ఒకేసారి 20 లక్షలు ఇస్తారంటే ఎవరెవరు, రైట్? ఇట్ మైట్ హ్యాపన్ ఇన్ సమ్ కంపెనీస్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఇఫ్ యూ గో అండ్ జాయిన్ Deloitte, even your current salary is 4 lakhs, but you have hired as an architect. For there is a job band, and for every job band they have a minimum and maximum salary range. So even if you don't ask, they will give in companies like Deloitte, Microsoft, but they are handful. In majority of the companies, it is always related to, okay, so your current package is 4, I cannot go more than 100%, so I'll give you somewhere closer to 8. So that's what would happen in majority of the cases. Okay, fine. So I think what problem DevOps solves, I think I have given you a clue of all of that. We use DevOps for what? Reducing time to market and increasing business value. That's it. That's the problem which DevOps solves. And now if you Google for DevOps definition, you will find 101 definitions of DevOps. But if you understand the essence of DevOps, every definition will tell about these 2 points. It is an extension to Agile. Okay. Some people tell that. Some people tell that it is a cultural change. Whatever it is. But the whole point is you want to reduce time to market and you want to take your products quickly to the market by costing less to your organization. That's the whole point, right? So let us take structure of an organization. I'm not speaking about a software company. I'm speaking about any organization. You take any company, the structure would sound something like this, right? So in this, IT is the only department which helps you in collaborating between all the other departments. So for example, you go to the companies like Tata Manufacturing and all of that. There they might have an SAP or a ERP product which tries to integrate between what are the different works that are done by all the different stuff. You go to a startup, there they might be using an Excel sheet. Both are IT. They might be using an Exchange mail. Both are IT. Yes, whatever it is. But from a ERP product to as simple as an Excel sheet, we call it as an IT. And to get that IT delivered, there will be many people who will be working out. Okay, you might have developers, testers, business owners. Okay, and then you would have center of excellence teams. Okay, information security, compliance. Depending on what you are delivering, you would have multiple actors over here. And all of these people, for delivering the code that is written by the developer to the production to customers. Okay, so they have built this a very complex pipeline. Okay, so forget the technicalities of it. This is a pipeline which carries the water. Okay, so from one place to other place, water is stuck there. Can anyone tell, or do you need an expert? Can anyone tell by looking at this pipeline, okay, the water is stuck over there, or do you need an expert? All right. So is this not what is happening in your companies? Your product suddenly stops at your customers. All the members of your team might not have a clue. There might be some superstars in your team who would look into logs and tell that, okay, so I think this is a simple issue. You have to restart the machine or something like that, whatever it is. So everyone will not be able to tell what is the reason for failure. That is the biggest problem. That is the first problem, our first challenge. So we have built a very complex pipeline for delivering our code or taking it to our customers. Okay. And next problem is, the most of the work is done by the people who are our core developers and testers who have been developing the code and testing the application, immediately leave the project or go to the new set of features in the same project and hand over whatever they have done to a team called a support team. and these guys will maintain the product from there. So you might have heard about application support and all of that. These are the people, what they do, they do L1, L2 and L3 kind of supports, where only in the cases of L3 or something more critical than that, then they will try to contact the developers. In some cases that might not be possible at all, right? So this is one more problem. Okay, your core resources who have been in the part of building your application are no longer with you. Okay, they might be working in the same project but on the new set of features, right? So it depends. Next, so your support team is working on issues. Okay, you would go to the support team and tell that, okay, we have brought in the new version and we want to hand it over to you. This is the first word these guys will tell. Your older version itself has 100 defects, we have not fixed it, and now you are coming up with new version, so I can't make it. So what does this statement mean? Time to market is gone for a toss, right? If operation team is telling slow it down, where is it going and haunting us? It is going and haunting us at the time to market. So it doesn't make sense. So we don't want anything like this. Now, your product has failed and a very basic issue. And the Facebook login is not working. Let us assume that we are working for Facebook. You you have changed it for some code, and Facebook login for anyone on the world is not working. Is it a major issue? Yes. So something like that happens in your company for your application. Now, what happens? The blame game starts. The dev tests have not tested this scenario. Testers will say operation has not given us the right environment. All of this. But is it helping your customers by any chance? No, it doesn't make sense. So that's the reason why we don't want to. Want to come out of all of this. And apart from this, there are many wastages in our process. Okay. The first one is knowledge wastage. Okay. Let us assume that you have been testing, you know how to test financial applications for 10 years. You have been working for 10 years. In this, now you have become a DevOps engineer. Okay. Let us assume that you have become an admin and you are working on administration of the application, and suddenly there is some issue. You are capable of helping the tester. You can find out the root cause. But are you allowed to? Chaycha? You are an admin for this project. You have been labeled as an admin. So you are not supposed to do any other activities. Is this not waste of my knowledge? All right. Okay. This might happen or might not happen in your company depending on the work style. All right. But this definitely happens on every company. Testers wait for the developers to give release. Operations team wait for testers to give approval so that they can deploy the product to the customers. So this waiting wastage happens in every company, right? So overproduction issue. Overproduction in software. Do you believe it? In hardware, yeah, I can understand. For example, I have manufactured more pencils than students in Hyderabad. That is called as overproduction, right? In software, what is overproduction? Giving unnecessary features to your customer, which he has not asked for, and you waste your time there, which impacts your time to market. It might be your dream, good, but your customer has not asked for it. Give what he wants. Okay, give him what he wants, not extra features. Okay, this doesn't mean that you should stop innovating. Discuss with your customer what you are going to tell. Don't give him a surprise. Okay, he's not your girlfriend to give surprises, because sometimes the features which you give might impact the performance of the application. So for example, in shopping cart application these days, virtual reality is very popular. I give VR support. What would happen? For the normal user, the performance would come down. He would say, why the hell I want VR? Your application was very good without all of this, because my workflow used to happen quickly. That's the whole point, right? Yeah. And there are many other wastages, many more. Processing, transportation. When I say transportation, every time you upload the release to the customer and then set up the environment, that is all wastage. It could be, the transportation could be upload time itself. Let us assume your application time, your application is of size of 1 GB and you upload it to the US server and it takes approximately 1 hour. Why do you want to waste that? Give the stable releases. That's the whole point. Okay, these are all the problems which we have discussed. Now, what DevOps does is, DevOps is very much inspired from lean principles. Whoever is in management might definitely know about this. Okay, so lean principles are, don't focus on many things, focus on simple things. Give what your customer wants, make frequent releases. Okay, give him at the utmost quality. Okay, lean doesn't speak about the whole waterfall model, say first finish development testing. No, he tries to tell focus on few things and do it wonderfully. DevOps tries to basically adopt this. And now, do you remember the pipeline on the first slide? Yes. So this is what DevOps does. Now, the pipeline which was used to flow, which was used to send the water from one place to other place, we are just using this waterfall kind of stuff. Now, there is a blockage. Do you need an expert? Yeah, you might need an expert to fix it, but to find it out. So this is what we are trying to make it. So what are the different things which we need to add, or what are the different things which we need to make for making a pipeline look like this? Okay, so that is what our DevOps journey is going to be. Okay, it could be adding the tools which will help you to quickly find out where it is going wrong. Okay, because for me in this slide, it has taken approximately 8 to 9 slides journey from go to the complex pipeline to the simple pipeline. But in reality, you have to adopt many tools, and that's what our journey is going to be. That's what our complete journey is going to be, right? So this is one of the code given. Okay, it is a factory floor. Okay, you can't think of any industry or anything without factory, without IT now. Anything that is evident with us. Even the restaurants are going with Swiggy now. They might not be using it, but it is some sort of IT, right? Where they have enhanced their businesses using some sort of application. You might see much more. Okay, so all of this, whenever we want to basically achieve, DevOps plays a key role, and organizations are ready to invest in that, just because if your product is released first to the market than your competitor, you will definitely have an edge, like what BookMyShow and Redbus is having. That's what our journey is about. Okay, fine. Okay, so now there are different tools which are useful in that. Okay, I will not be discussing today about tools, but I'll discuss about basic pipeline, and I will discuss about the approach what we are going to follow up of with respect to the teaching over here. How what is that we are going to do? Okay, throughout this journey. So I'll speak about that. I'll speak about that right now. Okay, fine. So you would have different developers, right? Set of developers. I'm not saying one developer, because I can't depict all of them in this image. I'm just saying the developers. Okay, developers write the code and they store at common place. Do you agree to that? Okay, that we will call it as version control systems. Yes, it could be Git, it could be any version control system. So they would change the code, or they would make the changes to the code, and they would commit it to the version control systems, right? And once the code is committed over there, then what has to happen? Testers have to test it. That's the next principle, right? Everyone knows about this. What I'm not speaking rocket science. Developer code rastaru, aa tarvata tester test cheyali. Now developer writes the code, and will he give code to the customer, code to the testers? No, he would give application to the testers. So whatever code that has been written in the by the developer needs to be converted into some sort of application, right? So that process, version control systems, we need to do some sort of build or packaging. Okay, so developer is writing code in C, you probably might need to give exe to the tester. So converting that C to a exe is build and package. Okay, now this has to be done. Okay, so this can be done manually also, but every time you can't employ a person or a developer or an admin sitting over there and who builds the code. Okay, we would try to automate all of the steps. So we have to build and package, and then we would get the application. So whenever you install Google Chrome, you want to install Google Chrome, what is that you would do? You would download, you would get some sort of exe, double click it and it would start installing, right? That is a manual way. Okay, so if I can tell to the testers that there is a package over there, download it and install it, that is fine, but I want to still save time. I want to still save the time. So what I would do is I will take this package and I would call it as deploy the package to test servers, right? I have to take that package and automatically deploy it. Manually you can do it, but when I say manual, you are adding more time to the pipeline. So I have to do this. And now I have used one more word called as test server. Who prepares these test servers? Who creates these test servers? Okay, it could be a manual stuff. You give it, you raise a IT ticket and IT admin might log in. He might create you a virtual machine, in that he would install whatever you require. Okay, so but here we do also automate that to create our own test environments. So whenever I say deploy, deploy might lead to two different areas. Okay, one is create test environment or other environments, whatever environments which you want, test, production, whatever it is. Okay, other environments. This I would call it as infra provisioning. This will create servers for you. For example, your application is website. So whenever your application is a website, you might need to install Apache server and then you need to deploy your website over there. So for deploying your website, you need Apache server and MySQL. Let us assume that this is the requirement. So that becomes your infrastructure. So we have to create infrastructure. All right. Next, after you create your infrastructure, the next step is deploy the package. Yes, you need whatever you have built in the earlier case, deploy it. Okay. Now you have deployed it. Testers will test it. Wonderful. Everything goes good. And now you probably might be doing the same activities in production, but there your environment is different. Your servers are of top quality. Here you might be using some decent quality servers because it is your test environment. The activity which we do for taking it to any environment is the same. So developer submits the code, you take that code, you build and package, you get the result, you get some package out of it, and then to basically apply that package onto some environment, you might need test servers. If the test servers are already there, then you might directly deploy it. Okay, and if the test servers are not there and if you are supposed to build, you might do something called as infra provision, right? So, and after this, along with this, you need to monitor all of your servers. How are the servers looking good? Are they healthy? Is the C drive has enough space? What is RAM doing? You will do monitoring on top of it. Okay, so this is what our journey is all about. I have drawn very simple representation of it, but it is actually more complicated than this. Okay, and you and me are will be going through this journey. Okay, and our journey will start from here, infra provision. This is where our journey is going to start. Okay, we would be learning on how to create environments. Okay, and whenever I say environments, it is not on physical machines. We are speaking about virtual environments. So it would be in the cloud or it could be on your virtual machines, vSphere or this kind of stuff. So my focus is majorly on cloud for this next coming 2 weeks, but you can use the same tool for any virtual environments. We will not be able to automate if it is physical server. Remember that. That is a ground rule. If you want to automate the stuff on a physical server, it becomes very difficult because we can't throw away physical servers if they are not working. But if it is a virtual machine not working, just remove it and rebuild the new one. That's the advantage which we would get as a DevOps engineer. Apart from all the other benefits, that is the most important benefit. Okay, so let us assume that if you use the 2 laptops, and in those laptops if you have to use it, now I can't throw laptop if it is not working. But in the laptops, if I install virtual machine software and some application in there is not working, I'll remove that and rebuild the new virtual image, right? That's the whole point. We want to treat our servers like that. Okay, and this is what our journey on a simplified notice. This is a trailer of your journey. So if you have to speak it in cinematic words, this is a trailer of how it is going to look like. and we have to learn everything. We have to learn everything. And remember one word, this is not as easy journey. Coding ఉండదు కాకపోతే developer కన్నా తక్కువ వర్క్ ఉంటుంది. No, you are getting paid more than developers. So which means that there are many cases where DevOps engineers are paid more than developers, because the activity which you do is much important. I'm not saying development is not important. I'm trying to tell that if developer has done his job correctly, and if this pipeline is not good, even though after all of that good features in your product, your application might not be a hit. Someone else might take your business away. So that's why it is very important. And don't think yourself as an admin. You are doing a development. You are doing development of automating this pipeline and whatever it takes. So first step which you need to learn while doing all of this is you should know how to do it manually. We don't directly write stuff. If you don't know how to do it manually, there is no point in automating. Okay, if you want to understand this, ask any automated tester who is very good at it. Okay, he would definitely know how to test it manually. Okay, for the tester who is not good at manual, he will never be good at automated. That's the same approach. So we have to know the steps what we are doing. Okay, so let us assume that I will give you this example, you answer me to that. I have given you some use case saying that you have to write a calculator for this. Okay, and I have basically asked you to code for it. You have coded it. Okay, and then I show you one error. Okay, and that is happening in your application. Whenever you do this calculation, your application is crashing. So what will be your first suspect into? My code might be wrong. But if you have manually done it, you might have come to a conclusion that there is an operating system failure, because you are sending some instruction to this server, and even if you try to do it manually, it is failing. So I can't fix it. It is something which Windows or Linux have to fix. So for you to get that clarity, you should know how to do that stuff manually. So అందుకనే manual గా చేయడం చాలా important. If you don't know manually, and if you want to directly try doing Chef, Ansible, Packer, Terraform, it doesn't make sense. You should know manual. So our enough stress would be on learning these things manually. Then we will try to automate, because it doesn't make sense. Okay, fine. So are we getting an idea of what is our journey going to be in the next 70 days? Okay, so every step has different approach for different languages. Building and packaging changes for every language. Okay, so for example, if you want to build Java, you might be using Maven. If you want to use .NET, you might be using something called as MS Build. So from language to language, the things change. So how do you cope up with this? That all of those things we'll be learning, right? So are we clear on this? Right? Then I'll speak about the approach and take your questions. Right? So quite recently, 1 month back, I think 1.5 months back, I've taken an initiative that we'll be not teaching DevOps, let us do DevOps. So that's why while coming into the classroom, you might have seen that hashtag let's do DevOps or something like that. Let's do AWS. And the reason, what is the basic reason for that is, for the people on the web, they might not know because they might not have seen that slides, but I have asked people to just design everything with that. And the whole idea is we will start DevOps by looking at use cases which can be written in your resume, which is something who are working in DevOps are doing, right? So for example, we learn infra provisioning. Okay, you learn any topic, you will be looking at use cases first. First you will understand the need of that tool. అది ఎందుకు వాడతామో తెలుసుకుంటాం first. Then we will start with a very simple use case, so that we will learn concepts of the tool. Okay, so our course is broken down into concepts plus use cases. Concepts plus use cases. That's the whole idea. And now out of these use cases, there will be certain use cases. For example, if you have 20 use cases, I'll be solving approximately till 3 based out of what I can take in the class. Rest of the 17 I will leave it to you. Okay, you can do it. While you are doing that, if you arrive at some questions, you can ask me about it. We'll try to help it out. Okay, so 3 use cases, and those use cases you can directly write in your resume, and you can speak about that in your interviews. Okay, so that's what this let's do initiative is all about. So let me be getting into that. Let me try to. Fine. Okay. Fine. What is the whole idea about this? So basically, we wanted our students were doing good, but they were doing good in parts. Some students were good in Jenkins, some students were good in Ansible and all of that, but they are good in Ansible and the stuff, and they were practicing only whatever I have discussing in the class. I cannot discuss all the real-time use cases in the class. It is not possible for me in the 2 weeks take all the use case possible use cases, because DevOps can be anything. It could be anything. If I am an architect, I might decide, okay, let's not use shell script, let us use PowerShell, because PowerShell also works on Linux. That could be my call, and you have to come across with that kind of environment. So it is not possible in the classroom to speak about environments if I'm speaking only about concepts. So what I've thought is, first let me give you an idea of why we are using this tool, what does the concept mean, and then let me take couple of use cases, or at least 2 to 3 use cases per tool, and do it in the classroom. And while doing it, we will be coming back to concepts again. Now your concepts will have a real-time purpose of why you are using it, why we use it. Okay. And the other advantage is, in DevOps, interviews will be scenario based. It will not be like, okay, what is DevOps, what is Docker? No, they will tell you what is that you have been doing. Okay, can you elaborate about one scenario? So if you follow this, if you do this, and if you solve those seven or some other use cases, you would come to know why we use this tool. And even after you go to work, you will not feel much of the difference. Otherwise, ఇంటర్వ్యూ వరకు అద్భుతంగా ఉంటుంది, ఉద్యోగంలో జాయిన్ అయిన తర్వాత దినదిన గండం నూరేళ్ళ ఆయుష్. I don't want that scenarios. Okay, once you go into the jobs also, at least you should be able to achieve 30% of your work without seeking any help. Okay, the only help which you might seek is which is very much required irrespective of experience. So you might want to know what are the development steps, what are the packaging steps, that you have to make it note. So that is the initiative of all of this. So we'll be doing these use cases, and remember, this will be huge benefit for the person who is very much motivated, because he is learning the stuff and he's doing the stuff. Okay, some of the people, the motivation goes down. So first week highly motivated, next week ఎందుకులే ఇప్పుడు ఏదో కష్టంగా ఉంది, so the journey is looking tough, so let me just, they will just finish the course. I've seen both of the audience. So I've seen people realizing after some time and then coming back. Okay, don't waste time. So decide it today. Do you want to work hard for next 6 years of your career? If the answer is yes, go ahead with this course. Otherwise, if you think that you cannot contribute a lot, నాకు అంత టైం లేదు, అంత ఓపిక లేదు అనుకుంటే, right. Okay, make a decision early in your life. So there is one important thing which you all should know: whenever you want to fail very fast, so that you can have a time to think about some other success which you can do. So don't waste time, right? You have to work out it hard. This will be a difficult journey. I'm not saying it is a smooth journey. From day one you will be understanding whatever DevOps is. It will not be, because it is a difficult area. Okay, we are speaking about release management, we are speaking about some of the system aspects. So all of that, what is that this journey can give you? This journey can give you 6 to 7 years of concrete career. 6 to 7 years. Okay, in IT there is no tool which can guarantee you more than that. Nothing. Even if you are a Java developer, web developer, you don't never know. Okay, so 6 to 7 years, and at least working hard for 2 to 3 hours a day. For the people who are working, I know that you will not be able to make it out. At least multiply that time, work over the weekend. Okay, fine, good. So we have been working out with many companies. They say that, okay, most of the people are conceptually very good, they are able to work, but they are able to work in parts. They're able to work in parts, and ఈ వర్క్ ఇచ్చి అది చేయమంటే చేస్తున్నారు. We don't want that. We want to drive them the complete stuff. So for that you need to know use cases, and that's what the reason is. And for the companies, all the companies, I'm speaking with many architects right now, and all the companies have the same problem. They have DevOps engineer who are good at some areas, but companies are searching for the DevOps. When they say DevOps, they are speaking about the complete pipeline. So they are looking out for the people who can automate at least 70 to 80% of that pipeline on their own. That's why we have these many tools. So very important for your career. So for this, what is it I am trying to do? Conceptually, I'll be covering in 3 to 5 days. First 3 to 5 days, I'll finish the concepts. Okay. So and then I'll be covering use cases, just use cases. And while doing that use cases, I'll reiterate the concept, because obviously the concept will come, right? So this is why we use that, and that's what is going to be our approach, right? In cloud, it is something else. In cloud, we can't exactly follow this, because the problem is there scenarios are too many, multiplied scenarios. So we have to be very strong at concepts. In cloud, this stuff might sound something else, might sound something different. That I'll be speaking when I give the demo about the cloud. All right. So, but this is an initiative, and per tool there will be approximately 20 scenarios, out of which 2 to 3 I'll be delivering in the class. Okay, and it could be anything. It could be anything. I don't stick on saying that I have to do the same tools again and again. It could be any two use cases. I'll be doing it in the class, sharing the other use cases with you. And if you work it out, you will see the difference in your interviews itself. Right? So that's what this Let's Do initiative is all about. We will be doing DevOps. Okay, not me lecturing DevOps, you listening and going to homes. No, we'll be doing DevOps. That's the whole stuff. Right? Okay. So fine, this slide is not for you because you have just begun. This slide was for my existing students to say that don't just panic, embrace this change. But right, so this is what our journey of DevOps is all about. We are going to automate the delivery pipeline. The technical term for whatever diagram which I have drawn is delivery pipeline. Fine. Okay, now if you have any questions, you can ask me. Let me look at the questions on the web first. Yeah. What is the relation between? So in DevOps, I'm trying to deliver my application, right? So my application's production, or the customer might be using my application which is deployed on the cloud. That is the only relation. So your test environments, your production environments might be in Amazon or Azure. That's the only relation. That's it. Hmm. Yeah, we'll cover all. We'll cover all. We'll start from there, and your course will end at CI. So that is the last topic of your course. It will be covered. It will be the last topic. You will not be missing out anything on anything. It will be the last topic. Okay. We go that circular flow. All right. So yeah. Any questions to the people over the web over here? Hmm. Yes. Okay. So let me tell you one simple word. So according to you, who is a developer? We are not doing development, by the way. నేను అయినా చెప్తున్నాను. So according to you, what is the quality of the developer which is very much required to become developer? What is that we should be good at? If you go through the Bill Gates or these guys of stuff, you need to have 3 attributes to become a developer, or 2 attributes to become a developer. Next, I'll tell you what is a genius developer. Okay, so you should be good at common sense, and you should be good at basic mathematics, addition, subtractions, deletions, and multiplications. ఇవి తెలియని వాళ్ళు ఎవరు ఉన్నారా క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో? Right? And basic common sense, basic problem solving, which you tackle in your real scenarios in your day-to-day life. Okay, అప్పు ఎలా తప్పించుకోవాలో, రెండు అప్పు ఇచ్చిన వాడి దగ్గర ఎలా వసూలు చేయాలి, ఇంతకంటే కష్టంగా ఉండవండి ప్రోగ్రామ్. I'm very strong on, I'm very hard on that, because I am a dev architect. I know what it is all about. But the problem is the perception with which we look at coding is haunting you all. That's the whole point. And by the way, we are not going to do any kind of coding over here. If you see in the pipeline there in DevOps, what is that we are trying to do? We are trying to automate the delivery pipeline. So to do it manually, there will be some steps. Do you all agree to that? Yes. And we will be converting that into some sort of code, some sort of application. That's it. So for us, the journey is simple, but actually even the coding journey is not tough. That's the whole idea. మనకు అన్ని ఇబ్బందులు ఉండవు. The most complicated program which you might end up writing might have a for loop. That's it. But don't go with a perception saying that I am joining DevOps because I am not good at coding. No, that's not a right perception. Because you are paid more than developer, and if you feel inferior to him, that doesn't make sense. Right? Okay. Do we need to learn both DevOps and AWS both? How is industry expecting the skills? See, it depends on your experience, right? If you are less than 2 years experience, don't even join DevOps, join cloud, right? But if you are more than 2 for any reason, 2 to 4, fine, learn one thing very good. But more than 4, go into Naukri. Naukri is asking both. Naukri is asking both cloud and DevOps. Okay, that's the basic perception which I would have. Okay, can we go to the market with any of the skills, DevOps or AWS or anyone? As I said, this is a very much specific question based out of what you have done. So it depends on your experience and all of that. Right? People are doing that. There are many people who are doing that. Okay, చేసేవాళ్ళు చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు అలాగే వద్దు అనుకుని ఆగిపోయిన వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు. There are many people who think that let me take it sequentially. It depends on your what do you say, how much can you take and how much can you practice. Okay, so for the people, what my suggestion basically is, go by what you can grasp. Don't just compete with others, just have a long term plan. So rather than 70 days, in that case your course will take 140 days, plus plan one more 70 days for your preparations, so it will take 210 days for you to go to interview and get the job. So that's what your planning should. So it depends on what it is, but don't take it hurriedly. నాకు 70 రోజుల్లో ఉద్యోగం రావాలి, nothing. It doesn't work out like that. Okay, so for everyone over here who wants to switch a job, okay, you take any technology, by the way, they don't tell the facts, I am telling you the facts. So it will take 6 months for you to learn anything. I cannot make that suggestion because రెండు నేనే చెప్తాను కాబట్టి నాకు మీరు దేంట్లో చేయనైనా డబ్బులు వస్తాయి. To be very stuff. But it depends on what your experience is. What is that you have been doing till now? Okay. So you want to do just SQL DBA throughout your life, or do you want to do something different? So then join DevOps. So if you want to do only SQL DBA, then cloud makes more sense, because in cloud you have a databases and then you can do the same DBA activities over there. So it depends on that calls also. So there is no specific one answer saying that join this or join that. It is very much changing based out of what you have been working and what is your experience with and what is that you want to do. So there are there are many variables in this question. So I can't give one answer saying that okay, join DevOps or join cloud. That's how. So that's why whenever someone asks this question, I'd ask them the experience. I'd ask them what is that they are working on. I'd ask them what is that they want to work. అలా ఉంటే నేను ఒకటే చెప్తాను కదా సార్, నాకు 7 నుండి 10 వరకు ఎందుకు క్లాసులు, హ్యాపీగా 8:30 వరకు చెప్పుకొని ఆఫీస్కి వెళ్ళిపోతాను కదా. So I can't that, did you understand the point? It depends based out of your experience. I can't really just say that it fits for everyone. No. AWS, whoever is learning, do we need to learn DevOps also? Again the same answer. Okay, so don't ask me this question. This person who can solve this person is, go to Naukri, go to Monster and just type AWS and see what they are asking. Okay, I might tell you basically something just for selling my courses. That could be the perception, but Naukri or Monster will not lie, right? Just see what they are asking and then make up your decision. I don't want to, because for me, if you want me to give a suggestion, I should know about you. I cannot give a generic stuff. And RMP doctor laga ఏ రోగంకి వెళ్ళినా ఒకటే మందు ఇవ్వలేను. I can't give that, right? Fine. So will this course cover both cloud and DevOps? No, this course covers only DevOps. Yeah, we might be using cloud for our testing or servers and all of that stuff, but we really don't cover cloud over here. cloud will be covered completely on AWS and Azure stuff, because they are different worlds and they are huge oceans, and I cannot cover all of them in one class. Okay, if in one class, not in 70 days, it will take 140. That's the whole point. All right. Okay. So any other questions? Both are equal. DevOps is not, I'll not say superior or inferior. See, let me tell you, my company is having lot of servers. So for me to save cost rather than going to DevOps, cloud makes more sense, because immediately I'll be getting the revenue out of it. So if my company doesn't have a lot of servers, but it has a lot of applications, then DevOps makes more sense, because I can go to the market quicker. Now it is organizational perspective. It is, there is no one answer saying that DevOps is good or AWS or any cloud is good. Okay, so you should have a right balance between both them. So the thing which I want basically people from here, when they learn is, I prefer DevOps plus both the stuff, because you would be able to do anything. And an organization might be looking either to save costs in terms of reducing hardware, or to save costs and go take your applications faster to the market. If this would be a prime motive to any organization, and you will be fit for any organization. That's the whole idea. There is no other stuff. All right. Yeah. Yes. Basic knowledge. So for DevOps, you should be good at command line. Good at command line. Okay, so when I say command line, I have not said whether it is a Linux command line or a Windows command line. So for the people who, how many of you have never worked on Linux till now? Parent me gaani vaadnollu entamandi? Yeah, for all of you people, you know that there is a command prompt in Windows, right? Yes, start using that a lot. Even if you want to launch a Chrome browser, launch from command prompt. In that process, you will be learning a lot of command line skills. Okay, the core command line skills don't change from Linux to Windows. Commands change. So you actually, DevOps doesn't mandate an operating system also, but most of the scenarios are on Linux. Yeah, to save cost, the servers are on Linux. So that's why it is more, what do you call, more towards Linux, even in your interviews and in real time. So that's why it will be more towards Linux. It doesn't mean that it is only Linux. People use Mac there, people use Windows there, but majority is Linux. That's a hard fact. So you should start working on Linux, and it is not a difficult journey if you are good at command line. You start with that. Okay, start with, be very convenient on command line. Don't stop using mouse from today. So for the people who have worked on Windows very well, mouse peak and start, just try to do some of, only when you click on browser you need mouse. For doing any other activity you should not be doing, because to launch a Chrome browser, you would know a concept called as an environment variable, and you would come across a very important environment variable called as a path. Okay, so you can learn many things in that journey. So that's why, for my first step or first recommendation for the people who has never worked on Linux is, start using command prompt. You want to launch Notepad, don't go to Windows and search for this. So use Notepad from here. Okay, now Notepad is launched. I want to launch a Chrome browser. Chrome is not launched. Find out the reason why Notepad is being launched and why Chrome is not being launched. This question will give you an answer to an important environment variable called as path. Then you will come to know what a path is. We will use path in every installation. So this is how I want you to learn it. Let's be practical. Right? Fine. I am a system admin, and can you please suggest to me what system admin in what? Windows or Linux worlds? So I cannot tell you one, it depends on your experience. The variables are, what is that you are doing, what is your experience, and what is that you want to do. So whenever you ask me a question, AWS or DevOps, just give me these three stuff also. Then I'll be able to tell you what is best to start with. More than four, no debate. You need both. More than four, discussion go also. So you need both, because if you don't trust me, just go to Naukri and search whether it is telling the same thing or not. right? Less than 4, then we can debate. Okay, so less than 4, what is that you are doing right now and what makes sense to you? So if you have asked me the same question and if your experience is less than 4, I would suggest go to cloud. Yeah, that's the whole point. If it is less than 4, go with cloud, because you can portray your resume in such a way that 1 year back, 3 years I have been working as a DBA. 1 year, from 1 year I'm working on DBA on cloud, and I've also learned some other areas of cloud. That is enough. But if you are more than that, industry expects more from you. That's the whole idea, right? Okay. Windows. Yeah, start with DevOps. Start with DevOps. For you, Azure might sound like an obvious answer, but start with DevOps, because there are a lot of support which Microsoft is also coming up with respect to DevOps tools. There is something called as PowerShell DSC. All right. So many things happening in Windows world also. There is subsystem Linux. In Microsoft, there is no need for you to install Linux. Linux is already present. That is what a subsystem Linux is. You need to do some configuration, which will download approximately 700 MB or 800 MB, and you can use Windows and Linux on the same machine. That is what a subsystem Linux is, which is Microsoft has released quite recently. So there is nothing going forward. You will not see much of what do you say, difference between Windows and Linux and all of that. It has to be the same way. Yeah, fine. So that's what I had. If you have any questions, you can ask me. So if your question is this or that, my answer is 3 variables. Give me those 3 variables and then I'll be able to suggest it. Right? Okay. So tomorrow, you will have Linux classes here. So if you now what we'll do is, I think you have course curriculum with you, right? Yeah. So for the people over the web, go to the Quality Thought site and you will be able to see what the link of our curriculum. We will be starting with infra tools. So we'll be starting with Packer and Terraform. Okay. And then we'll be looking at monitoring tools. Monitoring tools is, in our pipeline, we have many servers, right? And we want to know whether servers are doing good or bad. So for that, we'll be learning Nagios. And then we'll be learning Elasticstack. Okay. So then we'll go to the most important aspect of our journey, which is Docker. Okay, very important. We'll be learning Docker and Kubernetes. In your syllabus, the Kubernetes is not there because of my laziness. I have not updated it. Okay, so you would be learning Docker and Kubernetes, and then we'll go to Ansible, Chef, and then it stops with continuous integration. So that's your 5 stages of your learning. Okay, the next 2 weeks is all about infra provisioning and monitoring. Infra provisioning and monitoring, creating the environments, test environments. All right. So we will start with something called as Packer from tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll tell what is Packer, what is the need for Packer, and then we'll be learning about virtualization, what is virtualization, basics of all of that from tomorrow. Right. So when I started, I used to have Puppet in the place of Packer and Terraform. So I used to teach Chef, Puppet, and then Ansible. I've removed Puppet, okay, because slowly it is coming down. I don't want to sail on sinking ships. Packer and Terraform. But the good news is, I have found out last 3 there are 3 DevOps engineers from our institute who got job only on Packer or Terraform. Only on Packer or Terraform. So ఈ రెండు సరిగ్గా నేర్చుకుంటే దీని మీద కూడా ఓన్లీ ఆ రెండు స్కిల్స్ మీద కూడా ఉద్యోగం రావచ్చు. That's the whole point. So every tool is important in itself, but okay, be focused, learn what is the purpose, do some examples, and your interviews will be good. If you don't practice, no matter how much you know, you'll not be able to perform in your interviews. Okay, because these are going to be scenario based, right? So for the people who are going in admin interviews, do you have any standard questions? Windows admin, Linux admin, DBA, will you have standard questions? Very frequently. Basically, standard questions will be still some experience, but once you cross about that, it will all be scenarios. Just tell me how you have done that. How do you connect to the LDAP server? Okay, how do you configure something to using this? Okay, do you know this? That's how the interview would be. Okay, so be prepared for that interview. Google locally top 100 DevOps interview questions. Just search to find it. They will be different. Every site will have different interview questions because they are never the same. Okay, Fine, good. So let us meet tomorrow and let us discuss on Packer. And at 8:45 I'll be starting the cloud demo. For the people who have came here for cloud, stay back. If you have came from DevOps and not looking out for cloud, that's what I had for the day. Thanks for your time.